Hey everybody, the Super Vader 400 here, back for another review, and this time, this is my long, in-depth review of the 2012 film, The Avengers. Man, like I said in my short Avenger reviews, prior to seeing this movie, I never cared much for the Avengers. Well, at least the original lineup of the Avengers that consists of the team here and of course Ant-Man in the comic books. I liked the West Coast Avengers team led by Hawkeye, featuring characters like Falcon, Vision, and of course Wonder Man, and that Cheetah woman whose name escapes me at the moment. But that was the Avengers team, which was from the Avengers United They Stand cartoon back in 1999. I finally got to see that cartoon in 2009, but I remember the toy line and the posters and the promos from that cartoon back in the late 90s. Finally got to see it in 2009, and it was awesome. That's the Avengers team I was most familiar with, but I was a huge fan of all of these characters you see right here and these actors individually. So seeing all these characters and actors come together for one film, I was pumped and I was ready. And when I saw the film, not only was the film good, it was probably the not only the best film of that year, but it exceeded my expectations. It was better than good. Not only did you see several individual films featuring the characters in on this poster right here, on this poster in the film right here. You also not only did you see these characters build up to these characters introduced in their own individual films to build up for this movie. One thing I like about this movie is that this movie, while they successfully grounded in reality, they were for the most part, they changed a couple of things, but they were for the most part spot on with the comic books, man. The Avengers originally came together because of something Loki did. In the comic books, Loki wanted to seek vengeance against Thor, They even remember that Hawkeye, yes, Hawkeye, in his first appearance, was a bad guy. He first appeared in an Iron Man comic, and he was tricked by someone, and he was set straight by Iron Man, and since then he's been a good guy. But I like how in this film they remember he was a bad guy. Loki used his scepter and the Tesseract to hypnotize Hawkeye. So I like how they remember that Hawkeye was initially a villain. The whole film feels like something right out of the comic book. This film also reminds me. I don't think this was intentional, but it also reminds me of other films such as the 1995 20th Century Fox Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, and it also reminds me of Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And of course, this film was also inspired by. I saw a video comparing the two films, the 1987 Masters of the Universe film, but I'm pretty sure the first two I mentioned, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and of course Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I'm pretty sure those two films right there. It's just a coincidence. I don't think they actually borrowed from those two films. The first film, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Ivan Ooze completed a machine creating morphicons that terrorized the city, forcing the Power Rangers to use their newfound powers and Zords to fight them, and it collided with an epic battle between Zod and between Ivan Ooze's Megazord and the Power Rangers Megazord. Here, in this movie, the Avengers, they faced a alien invasion led by Loki called the Chiari. The Chiari, and behind the Chiari, their mother's ship was some kind of Megazord-looking monster that terrorized the city. And of course, like in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, or should I say Mortal Kombat 3, a video game, which is what Mortal Kombat Annihilation was based on, they opened a portal. They opened a portal to another world, which caused several which caused several people to invade, which allowed the Chiari to invade the Earth, invade the Earth. But I like this film from beginning to end. It was awesome. Then the first off, I'm gonna start off with the action, man. The action, seeing a team up movie. A team up movie. There's been team up movies like X-Men and the Fantastic Four, but there have been nothing. There have been nothing. There have been nothing like this, man. There have been nothing like this. Seeing Captain America and Loki fighting on the screen. Then you got Iron Man joining into the fight. Then you got Iron Man, Widow, and of course Hawkeye in a spaceship. I mean, not Hawkeye, but Iron Man, and of course Black Widow in a plane, in a helicopter, joining into the fight. Then of course when they put him in the ship, of course not Loki, but Thor comes out of the sky. Thor comes out of the sky and apprehends Loki. Iron Man follows him, and an epic battle between. First off, you get an awesome exchange between an awesome verbal exchange between Loki and Thor. Then you get an epic battle between Iron Man and Thor. Iron Man and Thor fighting on the big screen. Then Captain America joins in. Captain America tries to convince Thor to drop the hammer to prove that he's on their side and that he comes in peace. Thor instead charges at Captain America, and Captain America blocks it with his shield, man. Blocks it blocks it with his shield. So like I said, awesome stuff. Then seeing these six unstable seeing these six unstable seeing these five unstable personalities inside a room, coming inside a room, bickering with each other, arguing with each other, with of course um Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, Captain America, um, arguing the most with each other. With of course, you got Captain America convincing Tony Stark that it's always about him. He's selfish. He's selfish, telling him not to call himself a hero, not to call himself a hero. You got the other guys criticizing Fury for trying to utilize the Tesseract as a weapon, with Fury defending him, but defending himself by first referencing, proving that they're in a cinematic universe, referencing the 2008 Hulk film, with those two having a grudge match that nearly leveled New York City. Then of course um then of course Thor trying to intervene, that he is peaceful, but then Fury once again rebuffs and said, your kind is not the only kind in the universe. And he learned that not only are the humans the only ones in the universe, they are hopelessly and hilariously outgunned. Then you got Tony Stark trying to tell Captain America he's no use to the team. He's just a soldier. He was created in a bottle. He's not a hero. He's a laboratory experiment created in a bottle. Captain America rebuffs him and says, "You're a guy in armor. Take all that off. What are you?" And then Tony Stark replies, "A billionaire philanthropist, something like that. Philanthropist, something like that." Yeah, which is just what low key which is what just which is just what which is just what low key wanted. He wanted them to implode. He wanted to implode because the Chiari, as fearsome as they were no threat. They weren't really that much of a threat. It was pretty much low key trying to get the Avengers to implode within themselves, to what to stay. Once the Avengers once the Avengers came together after the death of the Agents of Shield guy. I think his name is Carlson. I can't remember his name. I can't remember his name. But after the death of him, this is when Avengers finally came together, and this is where the term Avengers was formed, because this is where Tony Stark said the epic line: "If we can't save the Earth, you can damn sure we'll avenge it. We'll avenge it." Yeah. Then of course you got the epic scene where then of course Incredible Banner goes mad, turns into the Incredible Hulk. Thor is barely able to tries everything in his power to calm him down, but no avail. Hulk eventually calms him down. Hulk eventually calms down when he lands on top of a building, scaring away some pigeons. An uninhabited building, scaring away some pigeons. And of course another cool scene, of course, when Loki is having a drink with Tony Stark and Tony Stark tries to convince Loki to surrender because he reminds him of the old school comic books, the old school good versus evil. There is no part of this story where you come out on top. There is no scepter, there is no throne. There is no throne. And then um Loki says why. He says, well, because of these guys right here, you will not be taking over the earth. You will not be taking over the earth. And Loki says he has an invasion, he has an army, and Tony Stark replies, "We have a Hulk. We have a Hulk." Loki has his scepter, tries to Loki uses the scepter and tries to attack um Iron Man's power core right there. It's not there. It doesn't respond, and instead Loki just throws him out of the window, uses strength and throws him out of the window. In a badass scene, Iron Man's suit flies out the window and completely bonds with him. Completely bonds with him, and Iron Man comes back up and blasts Loki. Meanwhile, Loki one of the guys, Dr. Selvig, who he hypnotized earlier, has completed the machine, has used the Tesseract to complete the machine, which will allow the Chiari to enter Earth realm, and now an epic battle ensues between the Avengers. And now an epic battle ensues between all of the Avengers. Just non-stop action. The Avengers are doing great, but it's all hopeless, especially when the motherboard ship comes in, and the Agents of Shield suggests they detonate. They shoot a nuclear warhead at the mothership. Um, Fury hilariously ignores that stupid request, feeling that that will endanger the lives of innocent civilians. And instead, I think they launch it anyway, and Tony Stark takes it in space, and falls down while it falls down, but the Incredible Hulk saves him midway in the battle. Of course, earlier in the film, you had an awesome fight between Black Widow and Hawkeye. I love the fact that, while I hate the fact that the heroes have to be toned down for the film, I do like the fact because it means they got to choreograph better action, and of course they got to make the non superpowered characters non superpowered characters useful. Um um Fury had an awesome shootout with Hawkeye, and Hawkeye had an awesome fight with Black Widow, and both of them existed in the final battle with the Chiari. With the Chiari. Also love the hilarious exchange between the Incredible Hulk and Loki. Then at the beginning of the invasion, the rematch of the century, the short rematch between Loki and of course Thor. So like I said, lots of exciting action. Story, drama, action, characters, everything. The only thing I do not like about this film, and this is also a problem I have with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which I'm going to review a little bit later. The Guardians of the Galaxy film is that one thing I cannot stand about the Guardians of the Galaxy, one thing I cannot stand about that film and this film too is the major plot hole in the beginning. Lo, Thanos, who is revealed at the end in the end credits, Thanos and his minions, they want the Tesseract. They want the Tesseract. Once again, why do they have to make why do they have to make deals? Why do powerful characters like Thanos have to make deals with less powerful people? Why can't he just invade the Earth? Why can't he just invade the Earth and steal the Tesseract? Well, then again, I guess this plot was answered by because you saw later, Loki Doctor Silver used a machine that drove that opened a portal from Thanos's world to the world to Earth to Earth. So that's one. So I guess that's one rebuttal to this plot hole I'm talking about. But still, why does he have to make deals with less powerful people? We know why in real life, because the characters in this film aren't powerful enough to fight Thanos yet. So they have to use a lesser powerful villain in Loki. But he could also, another rebuttal to the plot hole, he could also be using Loki to get the places where he couldn't go. Also, if the Biofrost, if the Biofrost, if the gateway, the Biofrost gateway, I think that's what it's called, the gateway the Asgardians used to get to Earthrealm, if that was destroyed in Thor, how did Thor and Loki end up back in Earthrealm? Does that since they were in a spaceship in the sky and it was thunder, does that mean Loki? Does that mean Thor can enter Earthrealm if they're in the sky? Or how does Loki falling into the abyss? How does that have him end up in Earthrealm? How does that have him end up in Earthrealm? So those are the only two plot holes, which are probably aren't plot holes. Those are the two gripes I really had with this awesome movie. But like I said, this was a phenomenal movie, one of the best, probably the best of 2012. Which 2012 didn't have that many good movies that came out that year. But this right here was one of the best. It was the event of the summer, and then of course the accolades. This film took in. Hold on. This film, with a budget of $220 million, took in a box office of $1.52 billion. I didn't think movies could make that much money. And I think the Avengers: Age of Ultron and Captain America: Civil War um grossed the 1 billion mark. I didn't think films could make that money anymore, and even films that could. I thought films to the level of like Citizens Kane could make money like that. I didn't think in a comic book movie could make that type of money and can be this popular, man. And like I said, I love this film because now we're in a post Avengers world. This film changed the landscape of movies, man, and because of this, if you're a superhero fan, we're getting lots of awesome stuff. And in my opinion, this film, in my opinion, saved the comic book genre. I am not a fan of Nolan. I don't mind his movies, but I'm not a fan of Nolan's Batmans. And I hated what that. I appreciate what Nolan did by bringing Batman back to the big screen, but I hated what Nolan's Batman did to comic book movies, trying to make every comic book movie dark, serious, and grounded in reality. No, grounded in reality. So I'm glad Avengers came and put a stop to that. No one wants to see that no more. Nobody wants to see that no more. Avengers, they've upped the bar when it comes to movies. You see a whole new level of passion when it comes to movie, a whole new standard for movies. Back then, there was a time where things where a lot of stuff wasn't going to be good. Now everything can be good. Everyone tries their hardest to make the best movie ever, and if it's not good, oh, you will see it ripped apart. You will see it ripped apart. Like I said, like you will see it ripped apart. So once again, thank you. So once again, thank you. And I'm a huge fan of Kevin Feige and Josh Whedon, the two people who, in my opinion, are making this Marvel Cinematic Universe good. I do have a couple of problems with the MCU, which I'm going to detail in my on my Doug A7 and 8 channel in a rant on things I do not like about the MCU. But like I said, this right here was an awesome film. Well, this was my long. Oh yeah, other stuff. Soundtrack. I love the song that plays when the Avengers are assembled together and Hulk roars that dun, 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 dun. I love that, and I love the Live to Rise song played by, I keep forgetting the band that plays it, but yeah, awesome soundtrack, man. Awesome soundtrack. And this film, like I said, it also improved on problems with the previous ones. One problem I had was in Iron Man 2, Black Widow was kind of bland. She was just a normal female action hero in that film. And Samuel L. Jackson portrayed Samuel L. Jackson in that film. He didn't act like Nick Fury. He, here, thanks to Josh Whedon, Black Widow is now a much better character, and so is Nick Fury. Nick Fury. So they also improved on previous problems. And yes, I like Incredible Hulk's design in this film versus that design in the 2008 Hulk. It is something similar to his 2003 look, and of course the TV series look. So I'm finally happy they what's his name. They had Ruffalo portray Ruffalo do motion capture for work. I also like how they changed the Incredible Hulk's human actor. Edward Norton did great, but in my opinion, he didn't act like Bruce Banner. He acted like his Fight Club character. So Ruffalo, while not looking like Banner completely, was closer to the character of Banner. So like I said, awesome film. Well, this was my review of the 2012 Avengers film. Age of Ultron is coming next. All right, I'm done.